Welcome to The After Show, the show where we bring it to you raw and real about our favorite mainstream and reality TV shows and the actors we love or love to hate. Tonight we'll be talking about Tyler Perry's The Have and Have Nots. And trust me, no topic is off limits. But before we do that, let me introduce you to the guys on the couch. Guy number 2, say hello to the people.
Hi, I'm guy number 2. Pull up and have a seat, because you're in for a real treat.
Guy number 3, talk to the people.
This is guy number 3, and I'm ready to get it in.
He's ready to get it in, and we're ready to get it on. But to get it on, we're going to need a female perspective. Trinity, say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. And you know, everything takes balance, and I have that balance with the female perspective.
Balance. And of course, I'm your host with the most, CC Cowan, a.k.a. the Talk of New York, and we're about to get into it. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. And we're back. This is the After Show, baby, and we're here to talk about Tyler Perry's The Haves and Have Nots, one of the hottest shows on television, in my opinion. We're going to talk about episode 4 of season 4, A Mother's Wisdom. is the title of this episode, you guys. So look, let's just jump right into it, you guys. The episode opens with Veronica holding a gun on David and Catherine. Okay, and it just so happens to be the gun that Catherine has used to kill Jennifer Salison in her living room. And so, to me, this was a completely intense scene. Now, check this out. Veronica makes David kneel down. Okay, and she causes him to recall, filing for divorce from her. And also calling her a delusional bitch. Yeah, bitch. Okay. And never apologizing for that. So guy number 3, weigh in on that. What do you think about, this woman making her husband, bow down to her and apologize to her with a gun, holding a gun on him nonetheless?
I thought that scene was hilarious. I thought Veronica had totally lost it. I thought, she had just totally just went psycho for a second and then tried to jump back into herself. But it was just, hilarious because the way she hit David at that gun, Dave was scared he was going to get shot. Like he said, I'll do anything you want, just don't shoot that gun at me.
Exactly. Because I say, look, if you want something that you're not getting in your relationship, even if it's as little as an apology, for something, because for some people an apology is a big thing, right? Some of us, we can't even move through friendships without an apology. So she wanted that from her husband at that moment. And what better moment to get it than when you have him on his knees with a gun pointed to his head? Way to go, Veronica.
Okay.
Way to go.
Okay.
But look, David was in tears, which really gripped me, you guys. But I don't know why it gripped me. Was it more because David was in tears at that moment, being in that kind of just a terrible position with his wife holding a gun on him? Or was it the fact that Veronica had admitted at that moment that she burnt the house down, not because she wanted to kill him, but because she just wanted him to, burn her arm or burn his head or burn his face, so much so that no one else would want him. And to me, that was a cry for help. So what do you think about that, Trinity? What do you think about that?
You know what? I think that Veronica she stays in control so much. Those two personalities are not far from each other. Well, in terms of her mental capacity. She knew what she was doing.
She clearly knew what she was doing. And I don't believe that Veronica has two personalities. I believe that Veronica is Veronica, and that this dual personality thing that people are running around here believing is just her playing the game on them, playing on their intelligence. She's a very smart woman. She's brilliant. And when I say a cry for help, what I mean is, was it not her really declaring how much she really loved him? You know, just saying, I didn't want to kill you, David. If I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you. I didn't want anybody else to want you because I love you so much. And so in some sick, twisted way, it is a declaration of love. Do you not agree with that, guy number 2?
I definitely agree with it, because I know that Veronica feels as if, she and David are a match. She may not act like it, but I think in her heart of hearts, she feels like they're an actual match. So for him to run off and be with somebody else, she's already been insecure over the fact that he's had an affair before. She has a problem with it. So, yeah, I do believe that she was just trying to make it so that he's not desired by anybody else, and she's the only one for him. So in her own sick, twisted little way, she's trying to keep him to herself.
Did we forget that she laid up with Benny? My face is so frown right now. I'm like, wait a minute, did these guys just forget she laid up with Benny?
Oh, no, we haven't forgotten about that. No, we definitely have not forgotten.
We have not forgotten about her laying. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, it has nothing to do with anything then. I just want to make sure that we're all cognizant of that love that she has for David.
No, but wait a minute. See, you guys, guy number 2, guy number 3, be careful here, okay? Because this is how women get men in trouble. Now, she done threw that in there as though Veronica had no reason to sleep with Benny. She thought that he was sleeping with Maggie.
He told her he wasn't.
But it doesn't matter. Now, and I'm glad you said, well, he told her he wasn't. Okay, well, here's the deal. She told him, I did not do this, David. I did not do it. Catherine did it. And he did not believe her. And see, you have to know your partner when you lay up with them, marry them, and sleep with them 10, 15, 20, 30 years and have kids by them. You know what your wife or husband will or will not do. Even people who cheat on their spouses, you know when your man has the probability to cheat. You know that, and your wife too. Here's the deal, and here's the proof in that. Jim walked into that house and found Jennifer lying on the floor, shot dead. And Veronica, Catherine, and David standing there. He knew exactly who did it. He turned and said, Catherine. He knew that Catherine did it. Yet, David didn't know that Veronica didn't do it. Garbage. So you guys got number 2 and got number 3. The 2 fall for this mess that Trinity is over here.
I'm trying to. It's 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. He could have believed that David could have believed that because come on, didn't David lay up with her too? No, he really did lay up with Jennifer Salazar.
Yeah, that's
a true story.
Okay, but here's the deal. We've heard of Veronica doing things in her past. There's been hints that she's been, had her hand in some dastardly deeds in the past. Hints. Right. Okay, but we are clear that David was dating Jennifer. We were clear that David was in bed with Maggie. So don't act as though Veronica doesn't have a reason to be upset and almost maniacal in her behavior. She does. She does. But you guys don't let this woman Trinity over here do the okey doke, y'all. Don't let her do the okey doke. All right, look, over there acting like Catherine. She did it. She did it, David. All right. So look, let's jump a little bit over here. Okay. So look, Jim claims that Veronica's hand has been on many knives throughout the years. Right? So guy number 2, do you think we will learn more about Veronica's shady past as the season progresses?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to see a little glimpse into that past because clearly she's got a lot. Jim knows a lot about Veronica, and I know that he's willing to spill it at this point because of the mess that they're in. I know that he is. I know he is. I just feel him about to put his finger on the trigger. He's going to spill it all.
I think so, too. We're going to some more of Veronica's past and maybe some people from her past, I think, are going to resurface, if not in this season, before the season ends, I think in the next season. But I want to ask guy number 3 a question. Look, Jim understands the ramifications of Jennifer's body being found in his house on the floor dead and I'm standing around the body. So he immediately dismisses Veronica. Veronica, I'm going to allow you to go. Just go. Now, Veronica turns around and says, now, I know it might be hard for you to believe, Jim, okay? but you don't allow me to do anything. So she's still fiery. She's still an authority. She's still a status quo. Like I'm in charge here, even though I'm a mess. My wig is disheveled. I'm a mess. I done kicked your wife down the steps, but you do not allow me to do anything. What do you think about that guy number 3, that Veronica is still able to, matter of fact, so swiftly able to get back to a point where she kind of postures herself as being in control, on the scene?
Well, I think she has to, be sort of like control, she has that control, and she likes to, exude that authority. Like, Jim, you don't tell me what to do, like you're seen in the past episode. She said we got to sit around and wait for Master Jim. Let's sit around and wait for Master Jim to fix everything. And so it's like she's lashing out that, that they don't always get to do things without, taking charge. She wants to take charge and fix things herself instead of waiting for Jim to come in and fix him.
I like that, and I like the way you related that to Master Jim. Like he's, you can go. Like I'm not Hannah. You don't dismiss me and tell me when to go. I don't punch clocks for you. Yeah, right. I get it. Good observation, guy number 3. Good observation. But look, let me jump back over here to this Trinity. Okay. I know I'm about to stir this up again. Okay. So look, as Veronica turns to exit the crime scene, that is the Crier house, David grabs onto her arm. And Jim sees this and insists, let her go, David. Let her go. Now, was that, a show of love from David toward his wife? Or was that just a knee-jerk reaction, Trinity?
It probably was knee-jerk. He's trying to get over her. There's what, almost 30 years there? He's trying, to get over her. So it was knee-jerk, I think. In terms of letting her go, that was a business move right there, because they have some business that they need to take care of, and they have to take care of it immediately. He's got Catherine, so, he's, the upcoming question I know, but he's drilling her, so he's got her. And so they're at a point where nobody can turn on anybody. So it was a knee-jerk reaction.
Do you agree with that, guy number 2? Was it knee-jerk or was it a show of love?
I think it was knee-jerk, too. I know that he probably is knowing what Veronica is definitely capable of and not necessarily sitting in a point of a firm decision on whether or not she was involved or not. So I think that he was just doing it as a knee-jerk. I don't think it was necessarily a show of love. I think it was definitely a knee-jerk reaction.
Okay. And so I guess we're all, and that's fine, because I don't agree with either of you. Okay? Look, I do not agree. Let me nail your theories to the cross right now. Okay, look. This man was crying because he loved his wife when she had him on his knees with the gun pointed to him. Even though, my wife is going crazy. She's done some crazy things. She had my son beat up. She's trying to get him to marry someone. She's calling him gay, a girl, and all kind of stuff. And now she has me with a gun to my head. She had Maggie killed. She didn't pull the trigger, but she kind of manipulated her into being in position of being killed. And now we got this DA on the floor dead, and I just don't know what to think. But his tear wasn't out of fear. People don't usually cry in fear. That's not the immediate thing. They scream, they fight, they hide. His tear, I think, was his heartbreaking. And when that scene had kind of changed over to Jim coming in and telling Veronica that she could leave, David grabbed her almost as baby. I can see what you think, automatic knee jerk, but when you're through with someone, you're through. And I know that you, Trinity, and I
in the air.
Violin's my foot. You could hear the whole Philharmonic choir. Listen, you could hear the whole Philharmonic Orchestra.
The 1, tears. He had a gun on him. You think I can't muster up some tears?
Listen, he's a man. Ain't nobody gonna cry because your wife got no gun on you. I'm not gonna get down on my knees and be crying. I would be like, B, you better get that gun out of my face. Okay, because or I'm gonna make you eat it. Okay. And look. And then you better pull out your armor. Then you better go to the fact that my family don't like you anyway. And when you pull that trigger,
that's when you gotta revert back.
You better remind her where you from and what your family does. Don't try it. But anyway, this is my point, Trinity, over there with the harps and stuff. Listen, I wouldn't care if Mozart was playing, okay? This man loves his wife. Now, y'all have been wrong before. Y'all have been wrong before when y'all thought she was afraid of Catherine, and then she ended up getting kicked down the stairs. She told Catherine in that fight scene, Catherine said, "You're going to die." She said, "I won't be dying today," and kicked her down the stairs. I'm trying to tell you that Veronica is never out of control. And in this moment, David knows this. David loves this woman, you guys. He's not new to this crazy woman. He knows that this is her. He just wants her to be less maniacal now. He's like, okay, you've done some crazy things in the past. I just want you to reel it in a little bit because now you've gone too far. You're pulling guns out on me. You're getting the kid beat up. He knows that she's done this to people outside of the family before. So I disagree with Trinity. I disagree with guy number 2. I think that David loves his wife, and I think at the end of the day, he's going to end up right back in the bed with Veronica.
That will only happen if Veronica is successful at getting Erica. I know you're going to introduce that, but that's only going to be successful if she's successful at getting rid of Erica. Erica is young, but she's been playing the game a very, very, very long time.
It means nothing because you guys listen. You said that the reaction.
Out of love with Veronica.
Listen, Trinity, you said that the reaction was knee jerk. That means there was really no feeling behind the reaction. It was just an automatic thing, like you hitting me on my kneecap and me kicking you in the face. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You stand 6 feet tall and 6 on your knee. Okay, all right.
But the thing about it, but the thing about it is, what I'm saying is, if he's over her, if he's really through with her, then it would not be a knee-jerk reaction. It would be like, this bee had a gun on me, let her go. And she's lucky I don't bust her in the head with something on her way out the door. That big flower pot. You see that big flower pot in the foyer?
Uh-huh.
She'd have been wearing it. She'd have been wearing it when they found her in front of the cry house, laid out, sprawled out. So anyway, I just don't believe it, and I think you guys are going to be sadly mistaken upon the coming episodes. So look, let's move right along. Okay, look, Wyatt takes Jeffrey to a beautiful loft that he's purchased, and he says, "Listen, this is where I'm going to be staying," and so forth. And Jeffrey, of course, goes with him like a little puppy. And when Jeffrey tells Wyatt that he has other plans, because Wyatt is like, "You need to stay here with me," and Jeffrey's like, "I have other plans. Like, I'm not staying here with you. I'm kind of over this town, place, my mother, my dad, your family, and everybody. I'm over it."
I hate all of y'all.
And Wyatt then plays. Yeah, but then Wyatt plays an emotional tug of war with Jeffrey to convince him to stay. And he's like, "Don't go, please, because if you go, I'm going to die. I'm afraid, Jeffrey." So guy number 2, weigh in on this. Do you believe it's a game, or do you believe that Jeffrey should take him up and stay?
I believe that this yo-yo needs his string cut and that Jeffrey needs to go buy some balls and sacks. And here's the thing with this. I'm tired of this whole back and forth with, Jeffrey and all this weakness and vulnerability towards Wyatt, this little drug head who's a rich, spoiled brat who needs to get got at this point because now I'm tired of it. You kind of playing on us. But Jeffrey does not need to be that weak. I just think that this whole, it's a cat and mouse game. We know that Tom never catches Jerry. We know he never does. So, I'm tired of watching the cartoons. There you go.
But look, this kind of goes back to the fact that I said earlier. People know their spouses or they know their boyfriends. You know your man. You know the person you lay next to. You know your woman. And regardless of what, the script says, Jeffrey is Wyatt's man. Period. And Jeffrey should know what Wyatt will and will not do by this time because they're friends. They're really, they're really friends. And, you learn their behaviors. Like when he scratches behind his ear, he's lying. When he stutters or when he clears his throat, he's trying to think I've said something great.
Right.
So he should have been able to, in my opinion, should have been able to realize when Wyatt said, if you leave, I'm not going to make it. I think Jeffrey should have been able to realize that. So I want to ask Trinity this. Wyatt did admit that he can't control himself. So shouldn't Jeffrey have been able to realize when Wyatt is being truthful or not? Or does he not care because he has a new love interest? What do you think, Trinity?
Yes, the way he likes Wyatt is definitely, on another level. Should he have known? Yeah, but I think they spoke on that out of the hospital. He knows that, Wyatt can't control himself, but he's got something going on too. His plate, he's got a hot plate. He's got to meet his mother. There's some things he has to do. There's an investigation going on, So there's certain things he probably couldn't have stayed there if he actually really wanted to.
Listen, I agree. Listen, he has the fact that he is supposed to testify against his own mother. He has the fact that he has joined Candace in killing off Quincy. Well, he actually killed Quincy. He has the fact that you have this woman waiting at your mama's house who you're supposed to marry, and she's trying to blackmail you into doing it. And, there's just a bunch of stuff. And then you have this whole thing with trying to stay out of jail. You slept with this cop, and, you're manipulating him. He's manipulating you. You're catching feelings for him. And then you got this crackhead over here that, kind of resurfaces looking like Thor, and now he wants you to stay in this new loft with him. What to do. Well, here's the thing, as far as I'm concerned, Trinity. Jeffrey does have a lot on his plate, but again, as a friend, when this guy is manipulating you and when he's telling the truth. And I believe in that moment when Wyatt said to Jeffrey, I'm scared. If you leave, this is not going to go well for me. Like, I'm going to die. Something's going to happen. I'm scared. He should have been able to realize that. I'm not saying he should have stayed. What I'm saying is he should have been able to realize it and take a different approach and maybe said, do me a favor. Stay here. Can you hold off? Can you control yourself for a few hours and I'll be back? As a friend.
Him an expectation is that I'll be back. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. We want to see Jeffrey grow some balls, but I think that was just the wrong moment to do it.
I was going to say, no, that Jeffrey is popping all over. I doubt if Jeffrey gets any sleep. He's popping all over the place.
Well, we'll talk about sleep. He put my sister to sleep, you guys. I want to share this with you before we go to the next question. She's never watched any of the shows. So she came over the other day, and I actually had her watch the Have and Have Nots, and I showed her, the latest episodes, and she got into it right away. She said, I don't like him. Ugh, he's weak. I said, who? She said, him. Jeffrey. She immediately was like, I don't like that character. I don't like him. He's weak. So it's like a consensus, like this guy is weak. Nobody really likes him. I think the people who likes this character on the show really like him because they think he's beautiful. But that character is a mess. Let's move on, you guys. I want to talk to guy number 3. Look, Hannah takes a drive by Candace's house. When she happens to be approached by that nosy neighbor who lives across the street, who runs up to her car as Hannah gets out of the car, and she's like, look, you see those people over there, they're looking for that guy. So Hannah's like, what guy? The guy that went in and didn't come out. Now, so Hannah knows, of course, that this is Quincy that she's talking about. And Hannah makes her way over to Candace, who's sitting by her car, and Hannah begins to ask Candace some questions like, did you do something to Quincy? Did you do something? You should tell me now. So guy number 3, I want to ask you, do you think that she really wants to help her daughter? Do you think Hannah really wants to help Candace? Or is this just an attempt to be further nosy and to point the finger and say, God doesn't like this and you should do things differently?
I think she genuinely wants to help Candace get past her issues with her. I think both of them had so many issues with each other, just blew them farther apart from each other. I think, as they say, cooler heads will prevail. Once Hannah, approaches Candace in a good way, she should be able to get the truth out of her. I know she knows if Candace is off the rails when she wants to be, and then she can be kind and considerate and compassionate to next. But I know, it's going to be some work. They're going to both need to do some work. Both of them have to put in some work on their relationship with each other. Definitely. But I know that Hannah cares about Candace, and she really wants to help her daughter get through what she's going through. And I know she's very concerned about what she's going through right now.
That's interesting because it's a nice suggestion. It's a nice thought. I think she was concerned about Candace getting out of trouble long enough to get Benny the money to get back in that house, tie it behind. Anyway, let's kind of move on to guy number 2 because I have a question for you, guy number 2, about Miss Hannah. Miss Hannah, okay? Hannah from the Hilltop. Yeah, Holy Hannah from the Hilltop. So Hannah advises Candace not only to tell the truth about any involvement that she might have with Quincy and maybe a body being found in that house, or just that she's had any involvement with anything that might have happened with Quincy. And she also says in the same breath, well, call Benny, who is waiting outside of his house for you to bring this money, and he's going to sit there until the people come basically to snatch him off the chair and take possession of the house. So guy number 2, I want to ask you, do you think it was a good move on Hannah's part to show up with this almost kind of demand on Candace to call Benny? Or was it just too little too late?
I think it was a lot of too little too late. I think Hannah, even though she's showing up and she's trying to plead with Candace, on Benny's behalf, it is a little too late. I think she's so out of touch with what's going on. She may, in her heart, as a mother, want to help Candace through her situation, but she's more so concerned about Benny and the outcome. And I think she's more so concerned about herself that she doesn't want Candace to find some maniacal way to take that grandson from her. I really think that she's really trying to safeguard herself and Benny from Candace. So, I don't know why she would even feel it necessary at that particular point, knowing that there's some, tumultuous situation going on, to try to say, oh, can you call your brother? Knowing that, she's clearly not going to be able to meet that deadline to try to get Benny saved from that bank and losing that house.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I think she always expects Candace to fail or expects Candace to do the wrong thing. And I think she's going to get a rude awakening later on in the season. But, Hannah, it would have been really powerful and really moving had you shown any glimpse of love or remorse for the way that the relationship has developed between, you and your daughter, Candace. But too little, too late. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. Almost like that hair. It's too little, too late. But look, I want to move on to, I have a question for Trinity. Look, Veronica arrives back home where she's greeted by Melissa. Now, she went through this whole being overnight in the house with Catherine, and being cut and cutting and falling downstairs. It's a mess. Okay, so she arrives back home where she's greeted by Melissa, who seems very curious as to where Veronica has been. Now, after all, she looks like she's been wrestling with a bull, Veronica, okay, when she walks in. Okay, but she heads upstairs to call Jeffrey, and she tells him that she is not the one who called the cops on him and Candace, and advises him to meet her in 30 minutes at the hotel. And, should Jeffrey have believed his mom right off, or just did he do what we expect him to do? Just, no, you did it. You did it. And not believe her and not show up. What is your opinion? Like, did he handle that correctly? Or, should he always be open to hearing what his mom has to say?
I think he should listen to his mom, for sure.
Even though she's crazy and she has him beat up?
You should listen to that crazy lady, Ice Queen, all of it. You should listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
This might be one of her main maniacal moments, but he needs to listen to her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, I don't know, guy number two. I just keep going back to knowing, being around each other and knowing there's something that is innate to all of us, something that's deep inside where we know someone is lying or someone is telling the truth. And so, especially in a family, when your brother is lying, when your sister done lied, you're lying.
Yeah.
And I think, guy number two, you have
Yeah.
about, how many siblings you have, guy number two? About 6, 7?
I
How
have
many you
6.
got?
Mm-hmm.
6. So each sibling, when they're lying or when they're telling the truth, right?
Oh, absolutely, hands down. Yeah, you can't sneak that past my nose. Like you know.
Look,
Some things you admit to, some things you don't. But
exactly.
you know when you know.
Look, I have a lot of siblings too, and it's like for me, it's like being on the Women's of Bruce's place. You lie to me, I'd be like, I saw you. I did. I saw you over there going to the other one's house to bring them a warm towel. I saw you. Okay, you're not gonna pull that. You're not gonna pull that crap on me. I have a question for guy number 3. Look, the police realized that they had been overlooking something that really had been right up under their nose. It was a pile of dirt that had apparently had been dug up in the backyard and then kind of piled back upon itself. Now, they asked for shovels and began to dig. Justin, which is Jeffrey's little police boy toy, calls and fills him in secretly that the police are now asking for shovels. Okay. Now, Jeffrey is sitting with Candace, and they are both waiting for Veronica to arrive at this hotel. They are nervous as heck. So tell me, guy number 3, good move or bad move on Justin's part for calling and getting himself further involved by tipping Jeffrey off on what was going on at Candace's house? Good or bad move?
A bad move, because he's definitely getting himself involved deep and deep into the situation. But I think he should have backed up and said, hold on, this is getting too far. Y'all need to figure this out on y'all own. I'm done with this. They asked for shovels now. This one got a little too hot on my plate. I'm about to back up off this situation. The boys going to come in and handle it. Y'all should be looking for arrest warrants after y'all in a few minutes.
I think this guy Justin is getting himself into a heap of trouble, but we'll see as this thing plays out. Guy number 2, I have a question for you. Mitch is arrested for taking his truck off of a lot, that was court ordered for the bank to repossess, right? And so he's placed in a cell right next to War, who reveals that he is going to kill Candace for planting drugs in his car. Now, when Mitch reveals that he was the one who actually set War up, War doesn't care. And he states, I'm going to kill both of you. When I get out of here, I'm not even going to change clothes. I'm not even going home. I'm going right over to that B's house, and I'm going to cut her throat. So look, do you think Mitch's admission, did it hinder or help Candace's case in regards to War?
It might have helped it in regards to War, but the thing that kind of baffles me a little bit was the fact that, War seemingly just doesn't believe him. He's kind of running off with it and saying, no, it's Candace, I'm going to get her. But I think when he gets down to the point where he gets in front of Candace, it's going to hit him that maybe she didn't do it, and something else might twist at that point. I don't know, but it just doesn't feel like this is going to be a smooth sail where that's concerned, because it seems like that's going to come back to his memory. War's going to remember that at some point. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. I'm a little, initially I loved War. I think all of us did when War first came into the picture. Loved him being Candace's backbone, part of her backbone. But, this whole thing that he did, this whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, raping her and doing all these things. I need this man killed quickly off the show. Somebody needs to kill this thing quick and leave. Okay? Get rid of him. So, look, I want to talk to Trinity real quick. So, Trinity, look, Hannah, okay, who believes nothing, she reveals to Benny, basically she's like, look, you need to stop waiting outside this house. These people are coming. It's 10 minutes to 5, and these people are going to come, and they're going to repossess this house. Let's go. I got a place for us to stay. You know, it's 2 beds in one room, and me, you, and this baby can bunk together, and we can do it and eat cheese sandwiches. And Benny is resistant, of course. But then she goes into this long story about how when she was younger and she met Benny's dad, how she loved him so, and she thought that he would take care of her. And then she got pregnant. And, you know, when he found out that she was pregnant by him, that he put her up in this beautiful apartment. And then 8 months into the pregnancy, you know, he came and said, look, I got to take this place back. You got to get up out of here because my wife found out that about you, and you know I'm married, and you got to go. And this broke her heart. Now I don't know what was her purpose in telling Benny this, but this was supposed to be the moment where she confessed her sins, I guess, and make things okay. And she was trying to say that, you know, I picked up and I moved on from there. You can pick up and move on from here. You know, was this poor timing on Hannah's part to, you know, in terms of confessing her sins, Trinity, or do you think this was appropriate timing for her?
I think the timing was off. Excellent story. It's true to life. Life happens. We understand that. But it wasn't quickly absorbed. Benny's mind is exponentially out of the earth. You know, he was doing well, his towing company, house, you know, trying to, you know, believe his sister and be on her side and stuff. And for him, everything is crumbling down. And then to add insult to injury, you know, my mom is telling me this story about how she, you know, she had me. And of all the times, that on top of that, you know, he just, in the midst of feeling sorry for itself, you know, we get this, you know, he gets this. So that further compounds his mind being out of this earth because he just can't believe what's happening. And then he gets this sob story. So I think it was ill-placed. I think the timing was way off. Good history lesson of how he came to be, but it didn't get the full appreciation.
Right. Well, you know, in her defense, I thought it was poor timing too. But in her defense, she did admit that she honestly believes that Candace didn't mess their lives up in this whole situation, at least on purpose. So, guy number 3, do you think that she was showing a glimmer of hope in regards to, you know, kind of trying to reconcile later on with Candace, you know, trying to understand her a little bit?
Yes, definitely. I thought she was trying to, you know, weed out, you know, the issues that Candace has had, you know, because Candace got a lot going on with herself, you know. And I think Hannah realizes that she's not perfect. That's why she told Benny that story, because she wasn't perfect when she was young, you know, doing what she was doing, running around with a guy and having, you know, and end up having a few kids out of wedlock and all this stuff and, you know, trying to make it work, and it didn't work. And so I think she's trying to compare herself, put herself in Candace's shoes for a moment and say, well, everything won't always go your way. I can't put this full blame on Candace.
Well, here's the funny thing, guy number 3. You know, when we're kids, all children, I don't care what age or what generation you grew up in, we've all tried to step into our daddy's and our mama's shoes. I know I used to put on my father's boots and walk around the house. And Trinity, I'm sure you put on your mama's heels and walk around the house. And
highest ones I could get in.
Well, there you go. And I'm sure Candace has done the same with Hannah. And I think Candace has learned how to walk the walk that she walks because, as Trinity revealed 2 episodes ago, that Hannah used to be a hoochie. That thing was a hoochie. That's how Candace learned to be a hoochie, because Hannah used to be a hoochie. How she talking about, oh, I thought your father was a great man, and I thought he was going to take care of me. Hint 1, she wanted a man to take care of her. She's always telling everybody else, get a job and do what you need to do, take care of yourself. But then she thought, I thought he would take care of me. Okay? That's number 1. And then number 2, she didn't know he was married, but he just put you up in this place. Now, she did not say he got a place for us and we moved in together. She said he put me up in a nice place. You were tricking. I don't think it's going to come out later, you guys, that Hannah, holy Hannah on the hilltop. Okay? used to be Bubbling Betsy on the blade. Okay, I think Hannah was. I think Hannah used to be a trick. She is not fooling me. But look, I have a question for guy number 2 and guy number 3. I'm going to ask you this question at the same time, and then we're going to close out with a question for all of you guys. So look, the police arrived to take possession of the property, right? Benny's house. So Benny resists in the usual black male fashion. These days, we resist. Well, this is mine. Okay. And then the police have to physically remove him in front of his mom. Heartbreaking to me. So guy number 2 and guy number 3, did this scene hit home to you, and why? Why did this, if it hit home, why did it hit home for you?
It definitely hit me. It hit me hard. Because, we fight for what we believe in, especially if it's something that we know we've invested time in and something in our hearts that we generally want and desire. So it definitely hit me. I mean, that was an emotional scene. Very emotional.
What about you, guy number 3?
Definitely, yeah. It was real heart wrenching. I felt it because growing up as a young black man in our society, we don't get many options, and for you to get a little something, that means the world to you, you putting your all into it, to lose it all at once in a puff of smoke, man, it can just devastate you. And I think Benny was devastated by the fact he was being kicked out of his home. He was losing all he had, and all he tried to work for and get. All he had in his grasp was now gone in a puff of smoke.
I agree. It was painful for me to watch. I think less about the fact that Benny had worked for or had an image of what he should have in his mind. That didn't touch me. That didn't move me about him, them coming to repossess the house, because he didn't work for that. Candace just gave it to him, so it appeared out of a puff of smoke. So he should not have had a great amount of attachment to it, because he didn't put any money or effort into it. But what I understand it being his, he had finally reached the American dream. That thing, that lie and that falsehood that they plant inside of our minds when we're young, and we go running and racing toward that dangling carrot that most of us never reach. Okay, and for me, it's a great obstacle in life. And I often say to people that the American dream that they paint us is not everyone's dream. And I think this generation is really starting to realize that, and they're going another direction. I don't necessarily need the house and the picket fence. I want a condo. I don't mind paying rent as long as I can afford it, and I don't have to have the responsibility of cutting grass and paying for water and dragging out the garbage. I don't want to do that. Some people don't want to do that. So that American dream is really going to bump. But as far as Benny being dragged off by those cops in that car with his mom, there were a couple of things that I saw that really broke my heart. One was the fact that he went fighting. I didn't like that. I think we have to be smart, and certainly because he wasn't drinking and he wasn't smoking, he wasn't high, he should have been a little more responsible. You know what I mean? And not put himself in a position where he had to be dragged off and manhandled, which compounds the situation. 2, for a mother to have to witness that, and I know that Hannah must have felt entirely helpless. Because our parents have, upon conception, they become very protective. Upon, they sleep a certain way, they don't do certain things. Well, most good parents don't, right? They don't walk too fast, they don't wear heels, because they're trying to protect us inside of them. Innately, right? Maternal instinct, protect. And so her first instinct is to protect Benny, her baby, but she couldn't do it. She could not go up against those 3 white cops. She couldn't do it. And she knew that it would have made the situation worse. And if she had gotten arrested, who was going to take care of that baby that was in the car, watching the entire time, which was another thing that bothered me, that little boy was watching that the entire time. So he went from a situation where he was being abused by his aunt in a drug house to going to his grandmom's house, where he thought he would have a little reprieve from that, but yet he's looking out the window and watching his uncle being brutalized by cops.
Right.
You know, these are the things that I think taint the mindset of children, all children, not just black children, all children, but especially black children in this country. So it really bothered me. I hated that scene. It was a mess, but it was true to form. So kudos to Tyler Perry for doing that. And I want to close with this question, you guys, because we got to talk about last Tuesday's episode, which was incredible. And we're going to freeball that one, you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna turn these guys loose on you guys at home who are tuned into the after show. So look, let's close out with this question. The police are digging and they find a hand connected to a body, okay, buried in Candace's backyard. Oh my God! So here's my question, you guys. All signs point to it being Quincy. So I'm going to ask you very quickly, yes or no. I'm going to start with guy number 2. Guy number 2, is this Quincy buried in the backyard?
No.
Okay. Guy number 3, is this Quincy that these police have dug up?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Trinity, is this Quincy buried in Candace's backyard?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out who else it could be. Yes. My goodness, that nosy neighbor sees everything. I know that you just wanted yes or no, but the nosy neighbor sees everything. That's the only human being that never left back out of Candace's house. Okay, yes. It's Quincy.
Okay. All right, you guys, keep tuning into the after show. We're going to be right back with the Have and Have Not, Season 4, Episode 5. And listen, we're going to let Trinity weigh in on why she thinks that it is Quincy, and guy number 2 and guy number 3 will tell us why they don't believe that it's Quincy's body in the backyard. We'll be right back with more of the after show.